Hey, Taylor.
Yes, Jimmy.
Luke didn't know about the Wampas on Hoth. Yeti found out fast.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wanna buy some death stick?
Jedi.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi.
And my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
You failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to the only international Star Wars podcast covering half the world, but only 0.5% of the galaxy. I'm Taylor, and as always, thank you for joining us wherever you are in the galaxy.
Yes, welcome to Explore the Force, where we cover all things Star Wars. I'm Jimmy, and as always, welcome back or welcome along if you are new. If you're joining us today for episode 147 and you get a chance, don't forget to give us a rating, like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Taylor, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited to get onto the main show. But before we do that, we got to talk a little Force encounters.
Oh, I have a good one.
Perfect.
I'll go first. Actually, okay, so today that we're recording is International Women's Day. Not that that has anything to do with anything, but this morning at exactly 12:02, because I was awake, I got a notification on my social media stuff, and it was my Rebel Legion base, Falcon base, making the post saying that it was official, that I am officially a part of the
Oh, I
Rebel
saw
Legion
that.
Falcon base.
Yes.
Official.
Congratulations.
Yes, I've been working on that. That's my High Republic Jedi cosplay that I've been working on so hard for at least 2 years.
Yeah,
But
it's been a while.
yeah, but that was today. Well, I guess when you guys are listening to this a couple days later, but it's official.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finished Low Red Moon.
Ooh.
I've been it was awesome. I reached out to Mike Chen to tell him how much I enjoyed the book, and we started a little chatting. So that's
Oh.
exciting. Maybe more will come from that. We'll see if
Maybe.
the force is willing. And then I know you're listening to it right now.
Mm.
So, and people don't know, I've played the game. Taylor has not. So we're going to review the book from two very different points of view. So we're very excited for that. And then I've started this. I mean, everybody knows that Solo is my favorite film. And I've started going back through some of the books and things that they've created for the movie, Star Wars Most Wanted. I'm listening to
Yeah.
that right now. So, and I'm loving it. Like, loving it. I know people were like, "Oh, it's a little cheesy or whatever," but I'm just like, it fits perfectly to the movie. I'm not quite, I have like 2 hours left or whatever. The actual book I ordered, and it keeps getting delayed because I always like to finish a book by reading it.
Yeah.
But I have that. I have Crimson Climb, Crimson Climb, which is Kira's story, and then
Yeah.
I have all the Solo, there's a couple comic book runs with about Han Solo. So kind of just doing this deep dive Han Solo, which he's never been like my favorite character or anything like that, but it's been a lot of fun just kind of diving into that and trying to figure out something to do with all that information that's swirling around in my head now. But yeah, that's kind of my Force encounter for this week. So why don't we
Nice.
so let's head over to the news and see what's coming out of Batu today.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, this sneak preview is supposed to be the only chance to see The Empire Strikes Back.
A new investor's presentation from IMAX has confirmed that the world-famous premium large format theater screens will be reserved for the galaxy far, far away, both this year and next. Ooh, Star Wars movies in theaters. Huh, so excited.
Yeah, I am pumped for this. We're getting obviously we're getting Mando and Grogu.
Yes.
For
Oh, that's like so far away, or
and
so
then
soon. So
so
soon.
so soon. And then next year we're getting the 1977 version of Star Wars on IMAX, and then again we'll get Starfighter.
Really?
So yeah,
Oh.
that's the rumor. So how do you feel about that? Have you gone to IMAX before, Taylor? I think Charlie has not, but
I actually I have, but one of my worst kind of memories is actually going to IMAX in grade 6, and we had to watch like a story about the Titanic, and it was
oh
terrifying, and I got pneumonia, or not pneumonia, I got insomnia. So hopefully this will change my experiences.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too.
I got pneumonia.
Yeah,
So,
the movie was so scary she got pneumonia, folks. You
oh,
heard it? Oh my gosh.
it's
And
fine.
then this bit of news here too, so we've got to kind of dive into this, but Disney insiders are excited about Star Wars Starfighter, but remain skeptical about the Mandalorian and Grogu, says report. Variety just published a new cover story on the incoming Disney CEO, Josh D'Amaro, which included a large overview of what the next few years may look like for the company, as well as some small details for each of the key brands aspects of the business. Tomorrow comes from the parks division, so his resume managing the entertainment part of the company is rather limited. But he will not be alone, as Dana Walden, the former TV chief, was also recently promoted to president and chief creative officer. In the new piece, as part of the interview, we also got the insider. So how do you feel about that? Because I know on the show here, we talked about how we were like kind of looking past Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
But then that trailer dropped. And then the one day we did our favorite episodes. And I just think for me, it was about not having revisited that for so long. But are you worried about that? Do you think that says something about the movie, or is it just because of like everyone wants something new?
It's hard because yeah, people want something new, but then they want that taste of like nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
and we are getting like I feel like because the parks are going back to like OT, like part of them at least, and there's like the rumors of like possibly seeing the original heroes like in this Grogu and stuff movie. So it's I don't know, we're pulling from the old and we're getting something new at the same time. So I think I'm excited for it regardless. So.
Yeah, I am too. And I guess I mean I'll have to be honest, like I was kind of looking past Mando and Grogu, like I was real excited for Starfighter for whatever reason. And I just think because we don't know what Starfighter is. Like we know what Mando and Grogu
Yeah.
is, and I was
Oh
like
yeah.
not getting me excited for some reason. But I will say that the trailer and then going back and starting the rewatch has definitely got me more excited. And I can't wait
Yeah.
for it. So
It's gonna be like an Avengers Assemble like type
yes.
deal. I feel like we're gonna have like Tamara Morrison's gonna show up, and all the Mandos are gonna show up, and just like Bo-Katan, everyone. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think Katie Sackhoff did say that she was gonna be in it too. Like we didn't see her, but I think yeah. With the galaxy about to re-enter the Mandoverse in 83 days, it's understandable that the eyes and the attention would turn to the characters and the actors that we've come to know so well. And speaking of Fan Expo Vancouver earlier this month, Katie Sackhoff, I just said this, Katie Sackhoff wanted to make it very clear that her character, Bo-Katan Kryze, is very much alive. And while there's no hint that she's part of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, she is still very much alive. So she stopped at our booth because I was at Van Expo Vancouver. She stopped at our booth. She's so awesome. She loves the droids. She loves um she was loving Jar Jar, and she was definitely like, oh, she's not going anywhere, but like I don't know what she's allowed to say, but she pretty
Well,
much told our 501st Garrison that she's in it, like
uh,
without saying it, right?
so
So
well, we'll see. Yeah, they've got to be careful because the Mouse House doesn't play. Um,
yeah,
well,
right.
that's another thing too. Is like, we reported on Tim Morrison getting shelved, right?
Yeah.
Because he said, a few months ago, as an Orlando Fan Expo, maybe or something like that, where he wanted everyone to email, fax, and write Disney, and they have told him basically that they've shelved the character for now, and that they'll
Because
let
of
him
that.
know. Yeah, because he says it's because I said something stupid, and he went on that. So that they do have to be very careful. You don't
Yeah.
want to upset the powers that be, especially like I mean, it wasn't like he was coming off this show that was like guaranteed a second season, or it was really that beloved, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well,
You know?
even like I even mentioned like, oh, I think I want to start rewatching Book of Boba Fett to get ready for the theater movie, and like my automatic reaction from my family is like, oh, like what do you mean? No, so I don't know. I would love to see Kimura back on like screen again. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we'll
hard to
see
see
it.
what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. And then our last little bit of news too is, and it's just being reported as rumors right now, but people are saying that Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie has been canceled by the new president of Lucasfilm himself, Dave Filoni. I don't know if this is just people spreading rumors because they don't like Dave or they want drama. Because now that Kathleen's gone, they can't blame her for everything anymore. So
They need like
they're looking to start something somewhere. Which, for me personally, I hope it's not true. But what do you think? I mean, would you be bummed out if we don't get that movie?
uh I don't like not like super invested into that movie, I guess. But like
Fair.
but just hearing that we're losing a bit of Star Wars that could be, like we don't know how great it could be. So it's almost like it is bittersweet. Like but you never know. Like we don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's tough because I mean we don't know anything about it. It's got these rumors, and then
Mm.
just and I always take it with a grain of salt till I hear it. More than one person starts saying it. So
Yeah.
we'll see. That was a big, big swing movie, I think, as well as far as um, the concept of it, tackling the beginning of the Jedi. Like that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And we've heard people say before, like the Star Wars fandom is scary. Like out of
Yes,
other
you'll hear.
fandoms, Star Wars is scary. It's great.
Yeah, and
Great.
you
Or scary.
may hear a little bit about that in the main show tonight too. So,
Oh.
but yeah, well, that's kind of all the news we got this week, folks. We are super excited for the main show, so let's head on over there.
It's just a simple jump to hyperspace and we're there? What's so tricky about that?
Plenty. Can't plot a direct course to Kessel. You might wanna buckle up, baby.
All right, explorers, we are so excited this week because it's time to talk about a small rule that has made a massive, massive dent in Star Wars history.
For years, stormtroopers were thought to all be men until one woman stepped into the iconic white armor and quietly broke that long standing tradition. Our next guest holds the distinction of being the first female stormtrooper on screen in the Star Wars universe, but now she is recognized for so much more than that.
Model, actor, space godmother, 5-time Star Wars film veteran, and a vocal and passionate advocate for many charitable causes close to her heart. And oh, have we said she never misses? Please give a warm welcome to Samantha Alleyne. Hello, Sam.
Hi guys. Oh, thank you. What an introduction. I have to say, you missed Andor season 1 and season 2.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh my goodness.
Oh.
It's okay.
I would forget that.
Also, I would just like to add a quick snippet. Tracy Eden, who was a stunt woman in Return of the Jedi, she actually did put the armor on back then, but my character is actually voiced as a female within the story, so I have to give props to Tracy because she was the first one who actually put the armor on. So big up, Tracy. Thank you for leading the way.
Awesome. Sam, first off, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. We're super excited to have you
Me too.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, we have a few questions we always ask people when they come on the show, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into all this good stuff. So we need to know, and our fans and our listeners need to know, what would you say your favorite Star Wars movie and character would be?
Okay, so I get asked this question a lot. I'm quite a cinephile, so to watch as a movie, I have to say Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just an incredible movie, and I really feel like it could stand alone without any of the other movies in the Star Wars saga, because it's just within its own right. It's a great film. I know Gareth wanted it to be a Vietnam War movie in space, and it's kind of different to everything that we were used to before, which it carried on in Andor, which is that it's quite dark, and a lot of the original films were quite, comical, and stormtroopers were like these clumsy, dimwits, and so that just showed us a different side of the story, and it's really heavy. This little girl that's lost her father, and this battle to save, not humanity, you know what I mean, the battle to save the good in the galaxy, and I just think it's a beautiful film. Character, do you know what I have to say, Princess Leia, because today is International Women's Day. I'd like to point out.
Yes, it is.
Filming, hence I'm wearing my t-shirt. I thought it'd be quite apt. People don't realise that in 1977 there were so many restrictions still on women in the real world, and George Lucas took this woman, this female character, and just elevated her to the point where she was like, I don't need you guys to save me. I'm fine. Like, I'm no princess. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, I might be wrong, but there was still like women couldn't get mortgages or credit cards without a man's signature and things like that. So if you look back to 1977, what George Lucas did, not just with feminism, but, he had black characters. And I just think, what she represents, and also she's just awesome. And Carrie was so awesome as well. So yeah, I'd have to say Princess Leia.
Oh, wow. Those are two excellent answers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of making big impacts, we know, you clarified your role as the first speaking female stormtrooper in a movie. Do you have any idea, like, how much you would mean, or what kind of impact that would make on Star Wars? And lots of little girls running around who, do you have any idea the impact you were going to make on
Do you know what?
lots and lots of people?
Not at first. I mean, so basically, I was a First Order officer first. And if you watch The Force Awakens, about 20 minutes in, I'm down in the dugout when General Hux crosses the bridge, and I'm a communications officer, so I have a headset, and I'm like, something bad's happened. Something bad's happened. Something bad's happened.
Oh my God, I want to look now.
If you go back and watch that, you'll see that moment. So I was that character first, and then I probably preempting a future question, but I got released, and I was like, but because I only did like 3 days, and I was sad, but also I'm quite a positive person, so I flipped it, and I was like, well, I'm in Star Wars. Then I got a phone call from the owner of the agency, and I thought it was a prank because it was very early on a Saturday morning. I was off to a modelling job, and she was like, they've started filming the Stormtroopers, and J.J. Abrams, who we love, has noticed that they're all men, and he's not happy. And he was like, yeah, I know, like, go JJ.
Yeah, wow.
Right? So awesome. And yeah, that was how it came about, because he was not happy that they were all men. And so yeah, I got the phone call, and I knew, like, because she said the words first female stormtrooper on the phone, and I was like, yeah, of course I'll do that. I didn't really realize how hard it would be, but anyway, that's another story. And I did think it was cool, and I kind of, do you know what? I think at the time, everything was so like fast, because they called me on the Saturday, I started on the Monday, it was Jakku night shoots, so I didn't really have time to process it. I think the moment it hit me, get your tissues, I did my second ever convention. It was in Bournemouth in the UK. And a guy came to see me with his daughter. She was 5. And he said, Sam, we saw that you were going to be here, and I had to bring my daughter to meet you because we watched The Force Awakens, and then we watched the Blu-ray documentary. And while you were being interviewed, I said to my daughter, that's Samantha Alleyne. She's like the first female stormtrooper. And she was like, oh, wow. And he was explaining all about me. And then she was playing Star Wars with her brother, older brother, and his friend, and her brother said, I'm Han Solo, and his friend said, I'm Luke Skywalker, and she said, I'm a stormtrooper. And her brother's friend said, "You can't be a stormtrooper because you're a girl." And she said, "Yes, I can, because Samantha Alleyne's a stormtrooper and she's a girl." I've got goosebumps.
Yeah,
I literally
I
have
mean,
goosebumps.
I'm really emotional, and yeah, like, it's International Women's Day, and this T-shirt is just. But yeah, that was the moment I realised, and since then, I've had many moments like that. I met a lady in London at Celebration, and she has loved Stormtrooper since she watched it in '77, and she just cried when she met me. She was like, "I've always wanted to be a Stormtrooper," and she's like, "I don't think I'll ever get the chance, but I'm so happy that you're doing this. I feel like I'm living vicariously through you." And yeah, it's sorry,
no,
I'm emotional.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing.
This is so good.
And I take it very seriously, the role that I've been given so graciously from the universe. And it's not just about then, and it's not just about now, but for me it's also about the future, because the film industry is very, fast paced, and things get forgotten. And I'm always make sure, I mean, I'm on the list of stormtroopers in this country that get called up, but I'm always mindful of the fact that, if there's a scene and all of them are men, I'm like, "Hello, what about me?" And if there's a new project starting, I always make sure that I'm in the mix, because I feel like if I'm not, then there's no females, and I can't let that happen. And it's becoming a bit of a problem, because I'm no spring chicken anymore. I'm getting on a bit, and things are starting to hurt. So I don't know how long I can keep that up for, but yeah, it's very important to me to keep that legacy going.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's
Oh my
incredible.
goodness. I'm absolutely speechless. How do we even follow that? Right, interview done and
Yeah,
dusted.
the interview's over.
You have to remember, like, I've been in Star for like 11 years. There's a lot of stories like this.
We have all the time in the world for those stories. So you've been in 5 Disney era Star Wars films. So that's The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One, and Solo. Am I correct in that?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And now, most recently, Andor. Have you ever met anyone who was a trooper in the prequel or the original eras? And what was that like?
Yes, I have. I have met lots of them. Trevor Butterfield, Alan Austin, John Mogridge. We've done lots of shows together. And I love those guys. They're so fun, and they have the best stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and you know what? They're so lovely to me. I'm just like one of them. We've been in the same hotel rooms. We've been in the same cars, like to and from the airport and whatnot. And they just treat me like I'm one of the family. And Star Wars is pretty much like that. We are one big family. I always say that.
We have noticed that trend with the authors and the actors and everybody. Like, it's very family oriented.
It's so true. Like when I've been to a few like shows in London that I wasn't a guest at, like MCM Comic Con, and because it's not far away, I'll go and meet. Like I met Emily Swallow and Brendan Wayne, and I always introduce myself because we're all part of the same family. I met Diana Lee in Sonato, in Germany, and she said the exact same thing. Like, and Brendan did, and Emily did. It's so nice to meet, like our counterparts across the other pond, because we are all part of one family. And the fans don't often realise. Most fans always think that all Star Wars is made in the US, which surprises me because of the whole Elstree and the whole the British connection back then. But even now, they don't realise that a lot of the modern stuff has been made in the UK. So yeah, it's always nice when I speak to like our US counterparts, everyone always says the same thing. We're all one big family, and it's so nice.
That's very cool.
Sam, what's something that fans or people watching the shows wouldn't know about what it's like to wear a Stormtrooper costume?
I promised myself I'd stop telling this story, but I have to broach the toilet situation.
Yes.
Please. Please
yes.
do.
Completely fair.
My good friend Matt Booker from Fan for Tracks, he's always telling people about this. He commented on a Facebook story about this a couple of days ago. So basically, as I was, I mean, I don't know how Tracy managed this in the 70s, but as I was sort of, you know, the first lady in a long time, and the costumes were all new, and I don't think they were anything like the ones in the past. So they were very, you know, well made and well thought about.
Yeah.
But for a man.
Wow.
And so when I first started, the very first night, there was no sort of amendments at all. And my good friend Christelle from Costume had to accompany me to the toilet. And I'm diabetic as well, which type 1, which doesn't bode well for holding. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so it would end up, we would have to have like a 45-minute round trip because I would have to remove most of the costume to go to the toilet. And then as time went on and I did more and more scenes, the costume was amended. We started to like cut, because we wear a black jumpsuit underneath with a zipper all the way up, and it's a 2-way zip. So we have the cod piece, which is attached by an elastic and hooks to the back, right on the back.
Yep.
I affectionately call it something that rhymes with flap. And so we undo the elastic, and the cod piece just does that, and then the guys just lift the bottom zip, and I don't need to say anymore. So they cut all around from the zip all the way around the jumpsuit, so all the way around my waist, so that I could pull down the bottom of the jumpsuit. But that meant I would still have to like remove my legs and stuff, and then you can't remove the legs without it. Anyway, it's very, very complicated. And then that summer, we weren't making a movie, we were in between movies, and I went to a festival, and I was staying, my friends were in VIP, but I wasn't, and I had this tiny little tent in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, I'm not going to the toilet alone in the middle of the night. And so I started Googling, like, go to the toilet at a festival, and I found the Shiwi. And
yeah,
Jim's like, the what?
The Shiwi.
And it's basically an ergonomic piece of plastic, and it allows you to pee standing up, and you can get an extension.
Yeah.
It's more of like an oil funnel, guys, if you don't know what we're talking about.
It's ergonomic, so it fits to the lady's form. And so I was using this at this festival, and there's all sorts of other things that you can use, so you can. Anyway, and I just had this literal light bulb where I'm like, oh, I can use this at work. And so after that, I started wearing boxer shorts, men's boxer shorts, and I started to pee standing up. The only problem was on Solo when I forgot to lock the door, and a lady had the fright of her life to see me. And then I had to go and find her and explain what I was doing. She's like, it's okay, I was in the military, I understand. So yeah, that is and I used the same Shiwi through, I think it was like all of the films up until Andor, and then I lost it. But there were people saying that I should sell it or auction it, because there'll be some weird fans.
There would be weird fans out there that would buy it.
So would be. Sign it.
Well, I lost it, and I was like, oh my god, the poor boy. I lost it on season. Actually, no, it was season 2 of Andor. We had, because it was snowing when we were filming in Gore, and we had these dry robes because it was freezing. It was actually snowing, and I put it in the pocket, and then we went back. Me and my friend Matt, we went to Stormtrooper. We went to find it in one of the pockets, but there were so many coats, and the guy wanted to go home, and so we had to just leave it in one of the pockets. So if you found that, I'm really sorry.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine the person dealing with all those robes and stuff after? Like, what is this?
And it's in a purple case, and they would have been like,
"Why does it stink?"
just a side note. I always cleaned it afterwards. I had detergent. And
of course, I'm just being.
But yeah, there was no. But anyway, yeah. So I have a new one now that's black, and I have a Stormtrooper sticker on it. So it's very.
That's amazing.
Star Wars looking.
That's so good.
So yeah, that was one of the problems. Moving swiftly on. Pain, yeah. So I don't know if you, when you watch Star Wars, a lot of we're standing like this with our blasters for a very long time, and I now have a permanent injury in my right shoulder from standing like that for hours and hours on end. And the left one's completely, well, it's not now. I've got tendonitis from diabetes, but that's another story. Yeah, so I have a permanent injury from that. I've lost toenails on Solo. We had a Steadicam shot in the Minban scenes in like a, I can't remember what we called it, but anyway, that went on for hours and nobody was allowed to leave. Because we had to be in the exact same position so that when the Steadicam came through the alleyways, we'd all be in the same place.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise I was on a slight incline, so all the blood was rushing to my toes, and I ended up losing my toenails.
Oh my
gosh,
That was
what
fun.
a
I've had
nightmare.
hypothermia. I've also had heat exhaustion. So yeah, it's not as glamorous as people think, but I'm in Star Wars and I'm a Stormtrooper, so I can't really complain.
Tough as nails.
I apologise for anyone who listened to that Shiwi story and is deeply disturbed.
You know, that's what we like. We want to know that stuff because no one's going to tell us that, right? This is what we want to know. How do they go to the bathroom in those? How do they see? Exactly. Well, because you kind of answered both of my questions, Charlie, I'm going to steal your next one. I'm so sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So what is the difference, Sam, between a resistance stormtrooper and just a regular Imperial stormtrooper? And which do you prefer to wear?
You mean the First Order? Sorry?
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yes. Yeah. I've already messed up the question.
Okay. The biggest difference is that the Imperials are much more comfortable. Like
really?
100%.
I would never guess that.
Yeah, it goes without saying. I mean, they look more slimline and streamlined, but they are so much more comfortable. The First Order ones can be very painful. Not for me because I'm slim and lithe, but some of the guys. I mean, when the guys are first cast as stormtroopers, they always think, "Oh, I need to go to the gym," and actually, that's the worst thing you can do because the parts are so streamlined to fit your limbs. So if you go to the gym and have huge biceps, they're not going to fit around, and then you're going to see because we have seams. Like a little we have a little Velcro overlap on them, and you're going to see black of the jumpsuit, and it just looks terrible. Same with your legs, your thighs, and your calves. If they're too big, you see the black, and it just doesn't look right. So yeah, I have been told by more than one costume member that actually I have the perfect shape for the Stormtrooper.
Heard that here. Perfect shape for a Stormtrooper.
You fit within each part, and there's not big gaps. No shade to my male counterparts, but yeah. So, but with the First Order one, I remember on Last Jedi, like the Episode 7 one was uncomfortable, but when we did Episode 8, I don't know why they changed it, and there must have been a reason, but it was horrific. Like, again, for me, not so bad, but there are a few guys where the wrists were so small that their hands had swollen up like that. A guy got sent home because it was cutting off blood supply. And it's really hard. So yeah, Imperial are definitely more comfortable. Last Jedi was less comfortable than The Force Awakens. And then the Sith Trooper armor, another interesting story. There's something about the red paint dye that they put in the ABS, the plastic, to make those that made them extremely fragile to the point where you would cough or sneeze and it would snap.
Wow.
So when we were filming in Cardington Hangars for the scenes in Exegol, we literally had to eat standing up because if we sat down to have our lunch, like cod pieces were flying all over. And we literally had just offset. We had a fixing studio, like a constant conveyor belt of repairs going on while we were filming, and there was just red spray. I'm sure if you look closely in some like photos, you can see that cod pieces are held on with red tape. I may or may not have a little piece of a cod piece that fell off. Anyway, but yeah, they were so fragile, and it was so bizarre because I was like, why are these so different? But literally, you couldn't do anything. They were just pinging off bits of red.
Oh my goodness. I feel like we're what 20 minutes into this recording? I feel like I've learned so much about Star Wars. What do you mean canonically female stormtroopers and Shiwis? Brilliant.
That's why I'm here.
I love this. All cosplayers that have any kind of major kits, if you're a woman, you need to get a Shiwi.
Yeah.
Number one. Listen, when I did I think it was Andor 1. And even on season 2, I had my little young Padawans, even though that's the wrong side. And I was literally like, Mr. Miyagi, I was right, come here. This is what you're going to do. You're going to want to buy this. You're going to buy this. I was sending them like Amazon links. There were other places available. Like what to buy and what to wear and what to do and how to like, you know, amend their costumes and stuff. Because yeah, there's like a cheat sheet that you need if you're a female stormtrooper, I guess, in the 501st or any cosplay as well. 100%. But yeah, it was really, because I know a lot of people can be very like territorial about things like this, but I was just like, yeah, there's more. And I was like, yeah, I can retire because I have more people. Unfortunately, a lot of people do try things and then they realize how hard it is and then they don't come back. So I have to keep doing it, which is fine. I love it. But yeah, there's a lot to know, and it's not just as simple as putting on the armor and just even down to marching and how you hold your weapon. There's a lot. I mean, the boys on episode 7 had 6 weeks of boot camp, which I didn't have. I just went straight into Jakku and fell over. Which,
that's amazing.
If you've ever seen a turtle on its back, then that's what it's like for a stormtrooper falling over in the sand. It was quite funny.
So, other than being stranded on your back in the sand in full stormtrooper costume, which I'm sure was incredibly elegant and beautiful, was there a moment on set for you that felt like especially surreal, where you were like, "This is it! Like I'm really in Star Wars."
You know what? That's so weird, Charlie, that you said that, because literally just after me being on my back doing this, so just to like embellish that story. So I had the phone call on a Saturday, and then Monday 5 o'clock at Pinewood, Jakku, the opening of episode 7, when we're all in the back of the transporters and we run down a slope, and I arrived late because I'd got on the wrong tube. I got the one to Amersham instead of Uxbridge. And my boss was like, "What are you doing? This is an amazing opportunity." So after I'd calmed down, then we had like the camera crew there, because it was a huge moment. And you can see that in the Blu-ray documentary of episode 7. And they interviewed me, and it was literally the first time I've ever put it on. And there's a moment where, because my boss Chloe, she also put the armor on, and I think she did a few takes and before she gave up. So this is not for me. And the boys had warned me about the shoulders, and I say that in the clip. But I was just like, I look so young. I mean, it was 2014. But I look so young. I look about 14 years old, and you can just see this expression on my face of, oh my God, and I'm just so happy and like in this weird bubble. And then we do the interview, and then someone's radio goes, right, we need Sam on set. And I was like, okay. And then I go outside, and they give me the helmet, and I've never put that on. And it's dark now outside, and I'm like, oh, crap. And then they're like, hurry up to set. And I go to set, and I'm just learning to walk in this thing.
Oh, it's hard.
I've never worn it before, and now I'm rushing to set in the dark. and then I see that the whole set is just sand in Jakku. It's a desert planet. And then I just see like these transport, they're like, right, Sam, the AD, right, Sam, you're going to go in the back of that one. You're all in twos, in pairs, and you're going to run down that slope, and then you're going to start shooting. And I'm like,
it's like you've been training your whole life.
Talk about being thrown in the deep end.
It's literally a baptism of fire, because there was fire too. I didn't mention that. There was bombs going off, big explosions everywhere. I don't think I ever tried to run in sand.
Yeah.
Now try running in sand with a stormtrooper armor on, and with a helmet where it's literally black, you can't see, and then people shooting at you and bombs going off, and you've never done it before. So yeah, there were 3 takes of that, and honestly, I am not afraid to admit that I was crying my eyes out underneath, and I was like, they've made a terrible mistake.
The adrenaline was real.
Oh
no, it wasn't even adrenaline at that point. It was genuine regret. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. I want my mum. But I was too like me being stubborn. I wasn't going to quit on the night. I just would probably have never gone back. But then this gorgeous man who my counterpart in my pair, he was ex-military and a policeman, and I forget his name, and I owe him my whole career. And he just said, "Stop crying, calm down," in between takes, and said, like, "You don't need to run fast. You just need to make it look like you're running fast, and then I'm gonna run ahead, 1, 2, 3, then stop." And then you cover me, and then I cover you, then you run 1, 2, 3. And he was like, we're going to do it methodically and slowly. And so that the fourth take, we did it, and I got all the way to the villagers, and I was like, Bruce Willis, yippee-ki-yay, beep beep. And I ended up all the way by the villagers. And I was screaming and shouting under my helmet, like, yeah, bah, bah, bah. Pew, 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 and all of those things. And then they were like, cut, and I took off my helmet, and I was like, then that was when the adrenaline kicked in. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And if you watch the DVD, if you watch the Blu-ray documentary, they interview me afterwards, and you literally see the change in the two like times. Because the first bit, I'm like, oh, headlights. Second bit, I'm like, oh, that was amazing. And I think
you're so excitable. There's like a single strand of like sweaty hair where you feel like so just like
and I say something about being a kid and playing cops and robbers or something.
Yeah,
but it was that moment. And then just to go back and answer your question, that moment, we cut and we got the scene, and then they started to like set up for the next shot. And it was now really quite late, and JJ goes on, fucking goosebumps again. I promised myself I wouldn't cry tonight. JJ comes on the mic, and there's 500 of us there, like extras and crew, and it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And JJ goes, guys. And we were listening. He goes, look up in the sky. And we look, he goes, it's a full moon. And we're all 500 people just looking at this full moon. And he goes, it's a full moon, and we're making Star Wars. Sorry.
Yeah!
And I cannot tell you, like, literally everyone was just like there was audible silence. Like, there wasn't a big cheer or anything, because, like, you know, we had neighbours and stuff, and I think complaints about the bombs going off. But it was just one of the most amazing moments, because JJ loves Star Wars, and I'm not interested in anyone's, you know, personal, like, at the end of the day, he loves Star Wars, and he tried to do the Star Wars the best he could. And his passion is palpable, because I always say it's like, there's a line, I think it's in Hamlet, or maybe the Duchess of something I studied at university, where they talk about the person at the top, and it's like a fountain, and it feeds down into the rest of the people. And that's exactly what it was like when JJ was on set, because his passion was so intense that everyone would just walk around with big smiles on their face, like, we're making Star Wars. And it was exactly the same on episode 9 when JJ came back. You could just, the passion and the energy and the excitement was just palpable. And that moment just, I think it just sums that up really well. Wow. Like, we're making Star Wars.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Speaking of JJ, he seems very passionate about it. I know we see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and he's always really doing things is very important to him. What did he say to you? Did you get to have a conversation with him about being the first, you know, voice Stormtrooper? I mean, how was that?
Oh, we had many conversations. I like to think, you know, that, I mean, we're not friends, I don't have his phone number or anything, but we spent a lot of time together. And I like to think if I bumped into you on the street, he'd be like, "Hi, Sam." So basically, on episode 9, he remembered me, and then that's when I became Ali Samta, the X-Wing pilot. You know, it's let's get your face out. And I'm like, no. And there was a moment where we auditioned. So JJ loves Star Wars so much that it's all about the shot. And there are conventions, there's things you do and don't do. Like, he would literally audition extras supporting artists for roles and for specific scenes because it was about the shot. And if it wouldn't work with one of the main characters, literally it would be all stood there and he'd be like, you come here, do this. Not so rudely. And he had a shot in mind and he asked our AD to choose like 4 people to audition. And literally we auditioned and I got that role at that line. And it was in the Rebel base, the interior. And it was Finn at the beginning coming back from the last film. And I had to say, glad you made it back. And I was walking past, and then JJ and Tommy, the assistant director, Tommy's a great guy and we get on really well as well. And he was like, I don't think it works. You need to because he just said thanks. And they were like, no, she needs a name. So they were called, what was it? I can't remember now. It was something short, like Jen or something like that. And they were like, so it was John Boyega, Finn, and we crossed each other in the hallway. Well, it's not a hallway, it's next to the ship in the Rebel base. And he's like, oh, it's K. So that could have been quite cool, standing for something longer or something. So I was like, oh my God, I've got a name in Star Wars. This is going to be great. I was like, glad you made it back. And he's like, thanks, K. And I was just over the moon with that. And then I don't know if they'd watched it back and decided that it wasn't right, but they did change the storyline because he and Daisy had been talking about a lot of very Star Warsy in-depth technical stuff, and that scene got cut. So I don't know if it was because the story sort of changed. But anyway, a couple of days later, we were in the exterior next to Millennium Falcon, Black Park. We had about 4 Sams on episode 9, which got to be quite confusing. There was one in costume, there was me, there was Sam Prentice who had R2D2, and there was another one, I can't remember who. And so we were it was very early before we started filming, and we were in the park. And I'll never forget, I walked in that day, and in Black Park, which is right next to Pinewood, it's a real forest. And the sun was shining through these trees and it was on the Millennium Falcon, and I literally got teary just walking on into the set in this opening. It's like a glade. And then I went to the crowd tent holding area, and I could just hear Sam, where's Sam? And my friends were joking, and I was like, it's not me. And then he kept on saying it because he had a loudspeaker. And then eventually, he's walking towards the crowd tent, and my friend was like, he's calling you. And I was like, no, he's not. Don't be stupid. He was calling me. So he remembered me from that, the other day. And he was like, okay, I have an idea for this shot. And basically, it was a tracking shot through the woods. And it made it into the movie. And it's basically the moment that we are about to go off to battle. And it's really emotional moment. And it was just me. At this, if you watch the rest of the shot, Greg Grunberg's in it. I forget his character's name now.
Snap.
And there's a few other people, but at the beginning of the shot, it was just me, and literally for 3 hours, it was just me being directed by J.J. Abrams, which was just mind blowing.
Wow.
So good.
And like I said about choosing random people, he chose someone for me to hug, because we might not ever see each other again. And he randomly chose one of my best friends, Nick Cobb, who was I think Y-Wing pilot. And so when you see me crying in that shot, those are real tears, because it was one of my best friends. And that's what I was saying about JJ. It's all about the shot. If you think that person has the good look, then. And so we did that scene, and I hug, and you see me, and I'm weaving through the trees. There was even a tree stump in the way, which was slowing me down. And he said, Sam, come here. And I go to the monitor, which was just me and JJ, just casually looking at the monitor. And I'm like, yes, JJ. And he's like, see this moment right here? Why do you keep slowing down? And I'm like, oh, there's a tree stump or something, and I don't want to trip over it. And he's like, Greens, get that tree stump out of the way for Sam. And I'm like,
That's awesome.
And then I said to him, JJ, is this okay? And he was like, it's amazing, Sam. It's amazing. There's a whole backstory there. And I was like, this is amazing. I still pinch myself about that moment now. And after we did that whole scene, we got on really well, and we had so much banter. And I think in episode 9, I had about 9 maybe 7, or I can't remember. More than 7 characters in that movie.
Oh wow!
And so I was a stormtrooper, and I was an X-wing pilot. But I was also a Sith trooper, and then I was a TIE fighter pilot, which not many people know. I was the first woman to be a TIE fighter pilot as well.
Awesome.
And I've scoured the movie so many times, but I can't find the exact clip. It was with Kylo Ren and Richard E. Grant. That scene. So I keep trying to find it, but I actually was the first person to put that on, woman to put that on. And so it was just a running joke with me and John Boyega and JJ that I would turn up on any given day as a different character on the dark side or the light. And they'd be like, Sam, pick a side. Like, pick a right up. And John used to just go to me, traitor. Because from one day to the next, they didn't know what I was going to turn up as. And then JJ, when I was in that scene as a TIE fighter pilot, he was like, Sam, do you realize something? And I was like, no, what? He's like, you're an X-wing pilot and you're a TIE fighter pilot. You could be fighting yourself. And I was like, whoa, that's so meta, JJ.
That's like that's
like
a story, like a twin.
We had like like Ray, the dark Ray and the light Ray. We had a lot of great moments, and even after the premiere in London for episode 9, I ended up with JJ in the hotel and Oscar and Sam Fender randomly just having drinks till quite late. So yeah, JJ's amazing. I do have a real soft spot, but yeah, there was a lot of. He acknowledged who I was, and he was so nice, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do any more Star Wars, and he was like, no, you need to, don't give up. And he was also very encouraging and complimentary about my acting and moving forward as an actress. So, and him and Tommy actually. So yeah, it was just beautiful moments. Like I look back with such fondness, and I miss it. Like when we finished episode 9, I did 82 days on episode 9, which is quite unheard of. And when I finished, I just didn't know what to do with myself, because it was my whole life. And when you're making a movie, you eat, sleep, repeat.
Yeah.
Like that's it. You nothing in the world matters. You don't watch the news. You have no idea what's going on in the world. You just the hours are very long. You just wake up, work, eat, sleep, and that's it. And so when I finished, I was like, what do I do now? I had huge withdrawal symptoms. So yeah,
my goodness.
Good days, good memory.
That kind of leads me into our next question. Looking back, I mean, having those kind of moments and experiences, which, I mean, I'm blown away by listening. What does being part of Star Wars mean to you personally now? Like, you have those moments, you're a role model for so many people, but for you, what does it mean to be, I mean, who you are in Star Wars and all the people you are in Star Wars? You can go ahead and cry if you want. You can cry this time if you want.
Yeah. It's just, it's such an honor. I'm so grateful. Gratitude is just, it doesn't seem real still after my Star Wars anniversary, I think is the 29th of May. And after this, so sure, it will be 11 years this year. It doesn't feel real. It still feels like I'm in a dream and someone could wake me up at any moment. It is. I did a convention a couple of weekends ago in Edinburgh to raise money for children's hospices across Scotland. It's called Chaz, and I've done a lot of stuff for conventions for charity and events and stuff. But with this, there was actually two families there that came to the convention with these sick children. And it's times like that where I love everything that Star Wars has given to the world. I tend to ignore all of the negative stuff, but when you think about it, it's so huge. Like it's actually quite. It's like an otherworldly thing. How do you explain that in the beginning, one movie, a film, it's just a film, has had such a fundamental effect on the world, society, culture. Like, you can show a child a picture of Darth Vader or Stormtrooper, they know who they are. They've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
It's like a cultural phenomenon. And off the back of that, the 501st, Albin, who I love dearly, who's a great friend and who made me godmother to all the R2K2s, visiting sick children, bringing joy to people's lives, and adults too. Like, and raising money, and it just blows my mind. And when I was at that show, I met a family from Scotland and with their sick child, and these children are terminal, and they're going to go into these hospices that we were raising money for. And that's what Star Wars means to me. I said in my panel, like, this is so weird. It's International Women's Day today, and Albin surprised me with a patch a few years back with artwork by Jonathan Myers, and it's me with my helmet off and R2K2, and it says, "Hope is the strongest force."
Oh my.
And that's what Star Wars means to me. Hope is the strongest force. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah,
sorry. Star Wars is about good triumphing. Sorry, guys. Good triumphing over evil, and I just feel like it's so many lessons for us in real life, and I'm so incredibly blessed and so incredibly grateful to have that. To have the honor to be able to go and do these things and meet. And I love conventions. Like, I know not all actors do, but I love it. I mean, I could talk for England, as you can see. But yeah, all of those moments are so incredibly special to me, and it's all because of Star Wars. And when I was on stage with Dee, he was like, it's just mind-blowing that this little film by George Lucas that was meant to be for kids has had such a profound effect on the world in such a positive way. And I get to be a bastion of that and go out, and on top of being in the movies and acting, I get to go and raise money and meet the fans and share these beautiful moments with people. And that is just incredible.
Wow. Man, I need a minute to collect myself here.
I think that might be the first time I've properly cried on the podcast. So,
Sam, you are so wonderful. You're like the perfect person for this. Like, you're just, I love you. Gosh, I love all of these stories. You're hilarious. Oh, well,
it is crazy. I do think the force is with us, because Sam, we've been trying to lock you down for a while. You're slippery to get a hold of, just with your schedule.
Right.
But, for you to be here now and today, given what you've done for Star, I am kind of like, I got goosebumps. I don't cry as easily as Charlie does, but like, I'm kind of sitting here fighting it. I'm honestly, I'm swallowing my emotions right now, as us American men will do. But I'm just like, I won't cry. But how do you feel seeing how far representation for women has come in the franchise since your appearance? Like, we had Princess Leia, and all credit goes to Carrie Fisher, because, she's the first strong female actor that we've got, and all these role models for women. But, with the stuff with Rey, and it hasn't all been positive, but it has come a very long way. How do you feel about that and getting to be a part of it?
I mean, on a positive note, I feel, again, immensely grateful and proud, and also I feel like it's very important. I always say representation is so important. You can't be what you can't see. I've always said that. That's my little motto for it, because we see it all the time, little videos on TikTok of little black girls watching Tiana and saying, oh, it's me. And it's so important, representation, like mind-blowingly important. I do feel like we have a way to go. Some of the, I don't like to talk about the negative stuff, but we can't ignore it. It's life. Kelly Marie Tran, Moses Ingram. There's been some horrible, and do you know what? Even with me, I think it was Chicago. I was surprised by Mark Daniel, who's great. He works for Disney, and he does the pre-shows for celebrations. And he surprised me by calling me up onto the stage in front of 10,000 people in the Windrush Green Trust Arena, before the episode 9 panel, and
Oh wow.
it was a really cute moment. He said, "Are there any girls in the audience with anything Stormtrooper on?" And he got these girls up on stage and asked them what they loved about Stormtroopers, and then surprised them with me getting out of the audience and coming onto stage. It's a beautiful moment. You might find it on YouTube, but I have it posted somewhere. And then I was trying to find that clip because they don't always film the pre-shows for the panels, and I couldn't find it. But what I did find was somebody from the fandom Menace who had paid to go to Celebration, and then was in the audience when I was on stage, and then took the time to come out of the stadium into the bit around the edge and just say how much he didn't care about me and what I represented and what I was saying. So I think we have to keep, and it's the same with the Acolyte. I hate the word woke with a passion. It used to be something positive, and now it's not. But we have to keep moving forwards. We can't keep telling the same stories and using the same tropes and the same characters. And to remind everyone that it is just a movie for kids, as much as we've already talked about how important it is just a movie. And if you don't like it, it's fine. Move on to the next one. There's no need for any vitriol, death threats, any of this stuff. But I feel like we should just keep trying and keep chipping away. And there was a lesbian kiss behind me in episodes behind me, nothing, but in episode 9 with 2 X-Wing pilots. A lot of people thought it was me because one of them's mixed race lady, and so and a lot of people didn't even notice it's in Baton Island. And I just feel like, yes, we have made huge strides in representation, not always received well, but I just think we just need to keep doing that, if that angers people, unfortunately, because I just feel like we need to move on. Unfortunately, the first movie was made in 1977, and a lot of people are so encapsulated in that time because of the memory of the feeling it gives them from. But not all of the actors are with us anymore. Rest in peace, Carrie, Kenny, and it's impossible. We can't keep doing the same thing, and we could just stop. But I think the fans wouldn't be happy with that either. So we make new stuff. It's too new. We make stuff that's like the old stuff. Oh, it's too much like the old stuff. We can't please everybody all the time. And I think the only thing to do is just keep going. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, move on. It's not that important. But I think it is important because I think people do want Star Wars to carry on. And so we just have to try.
Absolutely.
Do or do not. There is no try.
There you go.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Yes. Anyone who has a problem with it says more about them than it does Star Wars. So
this is very true.
Right. Sam, how does it feel knowing that the fans now celebrate you as a piece of Star Wars history?
It's very humbling, and again, I still can't quite believe it. I'm pinching myself a lot and saying, "Oh, really? I don't know." I just try to give back as much as I can because I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I've been given, and I just want to, I love what I do, and I love. Don't get me wrong, it can be quite hard and very emotionally draining, and not draining is the wrong word, but doing what I do, and there's a lot of tears involved, and people are so lovely, like hugging me and saying that that I'm this kind of person or that, like you just did, Taylor. And I don't know, I'm just me. I'm just this little girl from Canning Town in London who had a dream, and I achieved it, and I'm still got the Oscar to get, but I just grateful, incredibly grateful.
Well,
and I just feel like I have to repay that, pay it forward. So that's what I'm just going to keep doing. And if it's over for me now in Star Wars, I'll still keep doing that because I still have that legacy. And yeah, I still love meeting the kids, especially the kids. And it's, yeah, I don't know really. It's hard for me to say what it means for me to be part of this. I just hope that it continues the legacy. And again, like, there are always female stormtroopers in Star Wars from now on in, after I'm long gone, because that's why I do what I do.
Honestly,
Amazing.
Sam, you've absolutely blown our minds. What an incredible snapshot into your life and how you feel about Star Wars. I cosplay Rey. That's like my thing. I've been cosplaying her for nearly a decade now. Watching The Force Awakens was a
I
deeply
can see
spiritual
that.
thing for me.
I can
Thank
see
you.
that.
Thank you. I do bear some resemblance to Daisy Ridley, bless her heart.
No, thank you.
And I've had a lot of flack for cosplaying Rey. I've had people say some really horrible stuff to me, whether that's in person, online, and it sucks and I hate it. And sometimes it makes me feel like poo about myself. But then I remember people like you and how important it is to keep going and keep representing. And I do this for the kids. The amount of little girls I've met who are called Rey, the amount of little girls who know who I am, who know what character I'm playing, how important I am to them. And that's it really. That's the big thing. It's to keep going. And I can't thank people like you enough for setting the stage for people like me to come forward and be like, I love Rey. I think she's amazing. She's my favorite. So thank you, genuinely. Oh, don't, because I'll start crying again.
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely to say. And yeah, no, and that's exactly it, Charlie. And I hate that, you know, you've had negative experiences, as I have. Even like, I'm somewhat in the public eye and you aren't, but it just shows you. But again, we have to acknowledge the bad as well as the good. But yeah, just keep going. And well done for doing that, because I've met so many little girls called Rey, and you're huge.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
If you could return to the Star Wars universe in any role, who would you want to play?
Okay, so if Pablo Hidalgo is listening, Pablo, my darling, I would love to go back as Ali Samantha. I know Pablo is a good friend of mine, and he surprised me. So remember I said that John called me Kay in episode 9. So I thought I was like someone K or beginning with K. And then I think it was the 23rd of December, I ordered the illustrated dictionary from Amazon. Other people were available. And I got the shock of my life when I was not only in the book, but I had a name, Ali Samta. And I didn't get killed in that film.
Oh.
I was hugging someone in the end, so I'm still alive. So,
a survivor.
Yeah. So I would love for Ali Samta's story to continue if anyone's listening. But on a serious note, this is such a tough question. There's been so many like strong characters, female characters. I kind of feel like I don't really want to take away. I mean, Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson, and Ashley, both incredible humans who I've met. That she's an amazing character, and I would have loved to play Ahsoka. But I kind of just feel like someone else, a new one, just for me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I probably couldn't because I've done so many already. I think I went through it with a fan last weekend. They were like, how many? And we went through every movie one by one, and I think we got to 15 or 16 characters across the whole thing that I've done. So I think the fans would have a bit of a hard time if I came out as this brand new main character. But yeah, just a strong female character. But Ahsoka, if I had to choose one that's already in existence, it would be Ahsoka.
Sam, it was an absolute pleasure to have you join us this evening. I feel like I could easily talk to you for like another 3 or 4 hours quite happily. I feel like you've got stories upon stories upon stories. So maybe we'll have to have you back for like a part 2 because I think that would go down so well. Where can our listeners find you? I know you have like a cameo, you have socials, you're all over the place. Tell us.
So I have cameo under Samantha Alleyne, Alleyne. I'm on Instagram, Sam in the City 79, huge Sex and the City fan. And on Facebook, it's Samantha Alleyne, actress and model. And yeah, cameos. I love doing cameos. So.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much. And I really hope we get to have a chat again. It was so nice to have another Brit on the show. I'm just going to say it. All these Americans, Canadians.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me. I was quite nervous because it's been quite a while since I last did a podcast, but you guys have been so awesome. And thank you for listening to me waffle on for so long. And especially on I feel like it was meant to be that it was today, International Women's Day. So thank you. And thank you, Jimmy, for being with us girls on International Women's Day.
Hey.
You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Jimmy, for being here.
Yeah. One of the ladies. Woohoo! All right, folks. I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of like blown away by what we just heard. I really hope want to get Sam back on this show, but man, what a powerful message, powerful episode, and just stars kind of aligned for us for this. But anyways, if you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family. To follow us on all of our social media platforms, all you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then you can head over to redbubble.com and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everyone for interacting with us via social media. And you guys are the ones who keep this podcast amazing. The connections with you guys.
Absolutely. Finally, you've been listening or watching Explore the Force. We have spoken. We'll see y'all next week.
See you later.
At the end, you'll understand.
Close your eyes. Feel it.
Wise as Master Yoda, as powerful as Master Windu.
They'll do their job well. I'll guarantee that.
I am going to end this once and for all.
Sure. We're home.
You were the chosen one.